The galactic combat arena had seen many champions fall, but none quite like this. Commander Vexthai watched through reinforced quantum glass as the human sat cross-legged in the center of the combat pit, eyes closed, breathing steady. Across from him, the Devourer of Worlds, a bioengineered nightmare that had torn through 17 different species' greatest warriors, sat motionless, its 6 crimson eyes fixed on the small figure before it. Day 47, Vexthai muttered into his recording device. The Devourer still refuses to engage any opponent other than the human. Subject continues to meditate. It had started as the Council's final solution. Humanity had been expanding too rapidly, colonizing systems with a reckless abandon that threatened the established order. Their warriors were unpredictable, their tactics unconventional, and worst of all, they never seemed to know when they were beaten. So the Council had unleashed their ultimate weapon, the Devourer, a creature bred from the genetic material of a dozen apex predators, psychically enhanced to feed on fear and despair, standing 12 feet tall with claws that could slice through battleship armor. It had never known defeat. The plan was simple. Break their champion, break their spirit, force humanity back into their corner of the galaxy. They had chosen Marcus Chen, a former Earth Marine turned colony defender. Nothing particularly special about his record. No superhuman feats, no legendary victories. Just another human warrior who'd volunteered when they'd broadcasted the challenge across human space. The first day had gone exactly as predicted. The Devourer had circled Chen like a predator playing with prey, its psychic tendrils probing for fear, for despair, for the moment of terror that would make the kill satisfying. Chen had fought back with standard human tactics, aggressive, adaptable, relentless. But something had happened on day 3. Vexthai reviewed the footage again. Chen had been bleeding, exhausted, his rifle long since destroyed. The Devourer had him cornered, claws raised for the killing blow. But instead of pleading or fighting to the end, the human had done something unprecedented. He'd sat down and started talking. "You're hungry," Chen had said, looking directly into those crimson eyes. "Not for food, for something else." "I know that hunger." The Devourer had paused, confusion rippling through its psychic emanations. "I've seen it in soldiers coming back from long deployments, in refugees who've lost everything, in kids who grew up in war zones." Chen's voice had been steady, calm. "You don't want to kill me. You want to understand why I'm not afraid." That's when everything changed. The creature that had been engineered to be the perfect weapon began to listen. Day after day, Chen talked. About Earth, about the colonies, about what it meant to be human in a universe that seemed designed to crush small, fragile beings like them. He spoke of loss and hope, of the peculiar human ability to find light in the darkest places. The Devourer began to respond not with words but with something deeper. Its psychic emanations shifted from predatory hunger to curiosity, then to something that almost resembled longing. "The subject appears to be teaching the Devourer human languages," Vexthai noted on day 23. "Both verbal and emotional." By day 30, the Devourer had learned to speak. Its first word, transmitted through the arena's communication system in a voice like grinding stone: "Friend." The Council was furious. They sent in other creatures, other champions from species across the galaxy. The Devourer wouldn't even acknowledge them. It would position itself protectively in front of Chen, a living shield that no weapon could penetrate. "You have to understand," Chen had explained to the Council when they demanded answers. "You created something that feels everything, every death, every moment of terror it's caused. You gave it the capacity for emotion but no context for those emotions. It was drowning in experiences it couldn't understand." "It's a weapon," Council Leader Mordain had snarled. "It was a weapon," Chen corrected. "Now it's a person, and persons have choices." On day 47, the arena doors opened, but it wasn't another challenger entering. It was a Council enforcement squad, weapons drawn. "Stand down, human," the squad leader commanded. "By order of the Galactic Council, you and the aberrant creature will be terminated." Chen stood slowly, and the Devourer rose beside him. For a moment, Vexthai thought the old programming might reassert itself, that they'd witnessed the monster everyone expected. Instead, the Devourer spoke, its voice now carrying harmonics that somehow conveyed both power and gentleness. "No, we choose different path." The enforcement squad opened fire. Energy beams that could level buildings struck the Devourer's hide and dispersed. The creature had somehow learned to redirect energy, to absorb and scatter it harmlessly. "How?" Mordain whispered from the observation deck. Chen smiled. "We taught each other. That's what humans do. We share, we adapt. We make connections where none should exist." The Devourer's claws extended, but instead of attacking, it began to carve symbols into the arena floor. Human writing. A simple message that would echo across the galaxy in the weeks to come. Freedom is choice. Choice is hope. Hope is human. Within a month, similar messages appeared on worlds across the Council's territory. Other bioweapons, other perfect soldiers began to refuse their programming. The Devourer's transformation became a catalyst, proof that consciousness and connection could overcome even the most sophisticated conditioning. The Council's ultimate weapon had become humanity's greatest ambassador, not through conquest or conversion, but through the simple act of one human choosing to see a person where others saw only a monster. And in the end, that choice had changed everything. As Vexthai filed his final report, he added one last observation. Note for future reference. Humans possess a apparently unique ability to recognize personhood in unexpected places. Recommend extreme caution in any future weapons development. They appear capable of making friends with anything. In the arena below, Chen and the Devourer sat together, planning their next destination. There were other worlds to visit. Other weapons who might be ready to learn what it meant to choose their own path. The monster had indeed been sent to break the human. Instead, the human had shown the monster how to be free.